Chapter 63. Falling Rock City. When Qin Fei heard this, he was startled and looked towards the source of the sound. He saw a young man in a black shirt standing beside him, gently patting his messy clothes. The young man in a black shirt smiled when he saw Qin Fei looking at him. His warm smile eased the tension in Qin Fei's heart. Gulp. Seeing this young man who looked a little younger than him, Qin Fei could not help but move his throat. After a long time, he finally said in a trembling voice, "Black-scaled snake. Was it you who killed it?" His voice was filled with deep disbelief. Black-scaled snake. The young man in black smiled faintly and looked at the black snake that could no longer be killed. He nodded as if nothing had happened. "It's just a black snake with trash strength." Hearing the young man in front of him answer as if admitting it, Qin Fei instantly sucked in a breath of cold air. The black snake was a spirit beast of 8 emperors, and it was famous for its defense. Not even 4 or 5 ordinary sovereign masters had the confidence to kill it with a single strike. The young man in front of him. Could it be a 6 Dao or even a 7 Dao martial monarch? Heavens! This kind of strength was something that not even the young masters of Falling Rock City had. "Thank you for saving my life, young brother. I, Qin Fei, am the leader of a small team in the mercenary corps of Falling Rock City." Standing up, Qin Fei cupped his fists at the young man in black, his voice filled with gratitude. "Xiao Yan," he cupped his fists gently in response to Qin Fei's greeting. The smile on the young man's face didn't diminish in the slightest. "Brother Qin is being too serious. It's just a small matter. It's not worth mentioning." Upon hearing the casual words of the young man in front of him, Qin Fei couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart. Not worth mentioning. The black-scaled snake that almost wiped them out was actually so insignificant in his eyes. "Brother Qin, are you all right?" Just as Qin Fei was about to speak, Wu Zhang anxiously ran over. When he saw the black-scaled snake's corpse not too far away, he couldn't help but gulp. After secretly glancing at Xiao Yan, he looked at Qin Fei and said. Shaking his head, Qin Fei said to Xiao Yan, "This is Wu Zhang, my team member." Wu Zhang hurriedly bowed to Xiao Yan. Just now, he had seen with his own eyes how this guy who was younger than him killed the black-scaled snake. With just one kick, the black-scaled snake lost its life. Xiao Yan nodded at him as a greeting. This fellow could be considered the strongest amongst the 5 people who had fled other than Qin Fei. He had reached the level of 4 sovereign warriors. Qin Fei introduced the 3 men and 1 woman to each of them. These people looked at Xiao Yan with gratitude and respect. After all, under the powerful strength of the black-scaled snake, they were almost dead, but they managed to survive. Facing this young man who had saved their lives, the excitement of surviving a disaster could not be hidden. The latter's strength had also shaken their hearts. He had killed the black-scaled serpent with a single kick. This kind of strength was something that not even 10 people in the mercenary corps of Falling Rock could possess. Furthermore, this young man in front of them was actually so young. While Qin Fei was introducing the few of them, Xiao Yan took another look at the girl called Ling Fei. Although the latter's appearance could be considered a symbol, she was definitely not a beauty. Although it was because he had not seen the opposite sex for a few years that made Xiao Yan instinctively look at her a few more times, Xiao Yan did not have any desire at all. All these years, he grew up in the forest. Not only strength, but also temperament. Xiao Yan looked at the traces of tears on the latter's face and couldn't help but mutter to himself. Didn't everyone say that the girls who could join the mercenary corps had very tough personalities? There were even female mercenaries who were scared to tears by devil beasts. Noticing that Xiao Yan's gaze lingered on her face for a while longer, Ling Fei's pretty face blushed slightly. When she looked at Xiao Yan, there was a trace of the tender and shy look of a little girl in her eyes. Seeing this kind of gaze, Xiao Yan couldn't help but be stunned. This fellow was very fierce in this kind of thing. Smiling helplessly, Xiao Yan once again looked at Qin Fei, who also had something wrong with his gaze. He was instantly speechless. He coughed lightly and Xiao Yan interrupted Qin Fei's thought that there was a chance. He said, "Brother Qin, I was cultivating in another place in Forest Domain. I was chased by a spirit beast and lost my way. I hope you can tell me what this place is." Qin Fei came back to his senses and said hastily, "Brother Xiao Yan is too polite. We will enter the Falling Rock City in less than half a day's journey northeast of here." The Falling Rock City belongs to Xixing County, one of the 13 cities of Xixing County. May I know where you are from? Xixing County. Falling Rock City. After muttering to himself, Xiaoyan casually replied, I am from Wutan City. Wutan City. Qin Fei thought for a moment and said embarrassingly, West Star County doesn't seem to be called Wutan City. Wutan City is a small town in the desolate border of Xiling Prefecture. It's normal that Brother Qin doesn't know about it. I went out with my parents when I was young. It has been a few years since I went back. I think it has been changed to another name. Xiaoyan's expression did not change as he said with a smile, Xiling Prefecture, no wonder. Qin Fei smiled and didn't ask any further questions. West Star County was under the jurisdiction of Tianmu Prefecture, and the distance between West Spirit Prefecture and Tianmu Prefecture was unknown. Not even his father had been there before, let alone Qin Fei. Brother Xiaoyan, if there's nothing else, can you come to Falling Rock City and have a chat? It's also good for me to repay you for saving my life. Seeing that Xiaoyan didn't say anything else, Qin Fei thought for a moment. He said carefully, if he could get to know such a young expert, it would be beneficial to the mercenary corps of Falling Rock. After pondering for a moment, Xiaoyan nodded his head. Then I'll have to trouble Brother Qin. Currently, he had plans to go to the Falling Rock City. Since that was the case, it was not bad to travel together. Moreover, these people were mercenaries from the mercenary corps. He thought that he could inquire about some things along the way. When he heard Xiaoyan agree, Qin Fei was immediately delighted. He said, wait a moment, young man. After saying that, he waved his hand and Wu Zhang, who was beside him, immediately ran to the side of the black-scaled snake's corpse with a few other people. He took out a dagger and swiftly cut open the stomach. Not long after, a spirit core covered in black blood was fished out by Wu Zhang. Qin Fei looked at the spirit core with a joyful expression. He could not help but feel happy in his heart. This was a spirit core with 8 Emperor Warrior spirit cores. It could be sold for at least 2,000 to 3,000 monarch crystals. Just the value of one spirit core could match the 5 3-star spirit beasts that they had worked hard to obtain in 3 days. Hee, little brother Xiaoyan, when we arrive at Falling Rock City, we will sell these Falling Rock Cities. All the spirit cores that we obtain will belong to you. At that time, I will take out 10,000 monarch crystals from the group as a token of your life-saving grace. Don't think that it's too little, little brother. Under Qin Fei's rough and wild appearance, he also had a meticulous mind. He said to Xiaoyan with a smile. Hearing this, Xiaoyan's impression of Qin Fei instantly increased. With a light smile, Xiaoyan shook his head and said, it's just a low-grade spirit core. Take the spirit cores I sell to treat your injuries. However, I still need Brother Qin's help to sell these monarch crystals. As he spoke, Xiaoyan waved his hand. A faint light flashed on the storage ring. In the next moment, over 50 spirit cores, which were flashing with various colors, suddenly appeared on this empty land. These are all spirit cores. Qin Fei was stunned as he looked at these 50-plus Qin Fei's. Immediately, his breathing became hurried. There were actually nearly 10 middle-grade spirit cores among these spirit cores. He was not the only one. The other 5 people involuntarily moved their throats when they saw so many spirit cores. How much can these spirit cores be sold for? Xiaoyan looked directly into Qin Fei's eyes and said with a smile. Among these spirit cores, most of the elementary spirit cores were obtained before he entered the illusion realm. The 8 intermediate spirit cores were obtained after he came out of the illusion realm. In order to experience the strength of an Emperor Master, he killed a few intermediate Emperor-level spirit beasts. After recovering from his shock, the respect in Qin Fei's eyes became even stronger. Although he had seen some experts who were more powerful than Xiaoyan, the latter's age was right in front of him. Because of this, Qin Fei unconsciously felt a trace of respect towards Xiaoyan. Beginner-level spirit cores, the market price ranged from 1,000 to 3,000 monarch crystals. Intermediate-level spirit cores ranged from 5,000 to 10,000. Brother Xiaoyan, you have a total of 58 spirit cores, 8 of which are intermediate-level spirit cores. The total value. Qin Fei pondered for a moment, then suddenly raised his head and said, little brother Xiaoyan, don't worry. When the time comes, I will give you 200,000 monarch crystals. When he said this, Qin Fei's voice trembled slightly. 200,000 monarch crystals was equivalent to the total income of the mercenary corps in Falling Rock for a month. 200,000. Xiao Yan was slightly delighted in his heart. He also understood what was going on. This Qin Fei was calculated according to the highest price. Perhaps, he would have to pay for it himself. Immediately, he sighed and thought for a while. Then, he took out 3 pills to pay back the debt. Alchemy Path. My parents gave it to me. Although it's only a tier 1 medicine pill, it's still very effective in recovering Origin Monarch Key. When he heard the words Return Clarity Pill, Qin Fei's eyelids twitched. Then, he was immediately overjoyed. He was no stranger to the Return Clarity Pill. In the Falling Rock City, medicine pills were known by everyone, but they were extremely rare. The price of one Returning Clarity Pill had already reached 5,000 Monarch crystals. It was so expensive that it made people's eyes turn red, and he had been eyeing them for a long time. Under the envious gazes of the others, Qin Fei received the 3 resurrection pills and said with a smile, "Little brother, don't worry. I will definitely give you the 200,000 Monarch crystals." He smiled faintly. Xiaoyan's heart also rose and fell. The second item of the Yunluo Academy's Holy Rank trial was to obtain 10 million Monarch crystals that were very small part of it. But at least he got a good start. After packing up, Xiaoyan walked towards the Falling Rock City under the lead of Qin Fei and the others. Perhaps it was the joy of surviving a disaster, or perhaps it was the excitement of obtaining 3 resurrection pills. Along the way, Qin Fei talked non-stop. Although he had a lot of nonsense to say, he still got a lot of information after Xiaoyan asked him intentionally or unintentionally. The forest domain was extremely vast. Even Emperor cultivation level warriors would need dozens of years to cross it. Although the vast and boundless forest took up most of the space, it was located at the border of the forest domain. Each prefecture was located very far away from each other. Under normal circumstances, people at Qin Fei's level would never have the chance to reach another prefecture in their lifetime. Fortunately, every county had a device similar to teleportation, as long as one was not afraid of spending money. They could still reach the nearest few prefectures. And with Xiaoyan's innuendo, he had also figured out the teleportation points near Falling Rock City. The only teleportation point in West Star County was in West Star City. As the most prosperous city in West Star County, the scale of the city was far from what the Falling Rock City could compare with. It was not far from the Falling Rock City, and they could reach it after walking for more than 10 days. Tianmu Prefecture was located at the border of Forest Domain, and there were 2 other prefectures in between. If they kept using the teleportation point, it would only take them about 2 months to enter the most prosperous city of Western Forest Domain. Lingsing City, by using the stronger teleportation point, they would be able to reach the place where Yunluo Academy was located, Star Moon Spirit Domain. Although Falling Rock City was only one of the 13 cities in Western Star County, its scope was still quite large. According to Qin Fei, they would walk around the entire Falling Rock City. In the Falling Rock City, it would take at least 3 or 4 days. Apart from the necessary trade fair, the auction house. Outside of the mercenary corps, there were more fighting arenas. The alchemist club that Xiaoyan cared about the most didn't exist. According to Qin Fei, the Falling Rock City could never afford a noble bodhisattva like an alchemist. There was only one alchemy club in the entire West Star County, and it was naturally located in the West Star City. After all, the Forest Domain was not as prosperous as the Star Moon Spirit Domain. After talking and walking for about half a day, the outline of a city appeared in Xiaoyan's eyes. From afar, the city looked like a crouching giant beast. There were many figures at the city gate, and the noise had already reached his ears. Xiaoyan smiled when he felt this anger. His eyes flickered with excitement. It had been nearly 3 to 4 years. This was the first time he had seen so many humans. It was impossible for him not to be excited. Falling Rock City. Looking at the 3 black words on the city gate from afar, Xiaoyan let out a soft sigh. They had finally arrived. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.